Let's take a journey back in time. I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine the world in the 12th century. It was a time of castles and kings, sure, but it was also a time of immense struggle. Life was hard, and in the midst of this challenging era, there was a man who stood out like a lighthouse in a storm. His name was Moses ben Maimon, commonly known to history as Maimonides. He wasn't just a random scholar, he was a physician, a philosopher, and a rabbinic giant whose intellect was so sharp it could cut through centuries of confusion. Now, why am I telling you about a guy from the 1100s? Because he asked a question that is more relevant to your bank account today than any financial news you'll watch on TV. At that time, and honestly, still today, there was a pervasive belief that to be good, to be spiritual, or to be holy, you had to be poor, you had to suffer. If you had money, people looked at you sideways, assuming you must have done something shady or that you were morally corrupt. But Maimonides looked at the ancient texts. He looked at the nature of the Creator, and he asked a simple, explosive question. Does God really want us to live in poverty? Think about the weight of that. If the Creator is the ultimate source of abundance, the one who created the stars, the oceans, and the gold in the ground, why would he want his children to live in lack? Maimonides challenged the status quo. He proposed a radical idea that poverty isn't a badge of honor, it isn't a ticket to heaven. In fact, he argued that living in poverty might actually prevent you from reaching your full spiritual potential. This question, the Maimonides Paradox, is the starting point of everything we are going to talk about today. It's the crack in the dam that lets the water of prosperity rush in. We have all been programmed. From the moment we were born, society has been downloading a script into our brains. You hear it in phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are greedy, or the classic misquote, money is the root of all evil. And we see it in movies where the villain is always the guy in the suit with the big corporation, and the hero is the struggling underdog. This is what we call the great misconception. Maimonides realized that this mindset was a trap. He saw that people were using piety as an excuse for passivity. They were accepting their difficult circumstances not because they had to, but because they thought they were supposed to. They wore their financial struggles like a medal. But let's be real for a second. Is there anything noble about not being able to feed your family? Is there anything holy about the stress that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. because you don't know how to pay the rent? Maimonides said no, absolutely not. He identified that this misconception creates a blockage. If your subconscious mind believes that money is bad or dirty, you will unknowingly sabotage every opportunity you have to get it. You will push it away because deep down, you want to be a good person. The secret that the ancient sages knew, and that the wealthy still know today, is that money is neutral. It has no morality. It is simply an amplifier. If you are a good person, money makes you able to do more good. If you're a bad person, money allows you to do more bad. The problem isn't the money. The problem is the misconception that keeps good people broke and powerless. So if poverty isn't a virtue, what is the alternative? Maimonides and the ancient Jewish wisdom dropped a bombshell. Prosperity is not just a stroke of luck for the privileged few. It is a fundamental right. And hold on, it goes even deeper. It is often viewed as a spiritual obligation. Yes, you heard me right, an obligation. Imagine you have a gift. Maybe you are a great artist, a brilliant engineer, or a compassionate healer. But you are so bogged down by financial survival mode that you never have the time or resources to share that gift with the world. That is a tragedy. Maimonides argued that you have a duty to secure your material needs so that your soul is free to soar. When you are prosperous, you are stable. When you are stable, you can help your neighbor. You can support your community. You can study. You can grow. This right to prosper isn't about buying a private jet or a gold-plated toilet. It's about dignity. It's about having the resources to live a life that honors the potential you were given. The ancient texts suggest that God takes pleasure in the prosperity of his servants, just like a parent takes pleasure in seeing their child succeed. When you shift your mindset from "I hope I can survive" to "I have a right to thrive, so I can serve," the entire universe shifts around you. You stop apologizing for your ambition and start seeing it as part of your spiritual mission. Listen, if you are tired of the old narrative and you want to discover the real secrets of wealth that have been hidden for centuries, do yourself a favor and click that subscribe button right now. We are just getting started, and you won't want to miss the tools coming up in the next chapters. Let's clear the air on something that I know bothers a lot of people. There is this lingering guilt. You make a little extra money and suddenly you feel like you need to justify it. You feel like you're doing something wrong, but we need to hammer this point home. Being rich is not a sin. It never was. Let's look at the evidence. If you open the Bible or the Torah, who are the heroes? Abraham, extremely wealthy. Isaac, wealthy. Jacob, wealthy. King Solomon, the richest man to ever walk the earth. These weren't men who took vows of poverty. They were men who managed massive estates, livestock, gold, and trade routes. Yet they were considered the closest to God. How does that fit with the idea that money is evil? It doesn't. The sin is not in the possession of wealth. The sin is in the worship of wealth. There is a huge difference. If you love money more than people, that's a problem. If you cheat to get it, that's a problem. But if you earn it honestly and use it wisely, that is a virtue. Maimonides taught that physical well-being is a prerequisite for spiritual well-being. You cannot meditate on the mysteries of the universe if your stomach is growling. By rejecting the idea that wealth is a sin, you liberate yourself. You give yourself permission to succeed. And let me tell you, the moment you give yourself permission, the mental handbrake comes off. I want you to visualize a master carpenter. He shows up to a job site to build a shelter for the homeless. He has the heart to do it. He has the knowledge, but he has no tools, no hammer, no saw, no wood, no nails. What happens? Nothing. His good intentions remain just that, intentions. He cannot manifest his kindness into the physical world. Money is the hammer. Money is the saw. Money is the wood. In the philosophy of Solomon's Treasury, wealth is defined as a tool of expansion. It expands your reach. It expands your influence. It expands your ability to make a dent in the universe. Without resources, your ability to help is limited to your immediate physical presence. With resources, you can help people you have never even met, in places you have never been. Maimonides viewed wealth as potential energy. When you accumulate it, you are storing up energy that can be released to do good works. Whether it's feeding the hungry, funding a cure for a disease, or simply giving your own children a safe environment to grow up in, money makes it possible. When you see money as a tool, you stop fearing it. You start respecting it. You start sharpening it. You realize that by avoiding wealth, you're essentially showing up to the job site of life empty-handed. And who does that serve? No one. So, here is the million-dollar question. Literally, if wealth is a right, and if it's a tool for good, why are so many good people struggling? Why is the world filled with kind-hearted people who are drowning in debt? It's heartbreaking, isn't it? The answer isn't that they are lazy. Most broke people work harder than billionaires. The answer isn't that they are stupid. The answer is that they lack the code. They are trying to play a complex game without knowing the rules. Maimonides and the sages pointed out that the physical world operates on spiritual laws. Just like there is gravity, there are laws of abundance. If you step off a cliff, gravity pulls you down. Regardless of whether you are a good person or a bad person, gravity doesn't care. The same applies to money. If you violate the laws of wealth, laws about management, about flow, about mindset, about giving, you will struggle, no matter how nice you are. We struggle because we haven't been taught these laws. We've been taught calculus and history, but nobody taught us the spiritual mechanics of money. We are operating on an outdated operating system full of bugs and glitches. The struggle is a symptom of misalignment. It's a signal that we need to learn a new way of being. Here is a question I want you to answer honestly in the comments. Do you deep down believe that if you became wealthy, you would become a worse person, or that people would like you less? Be honest. Let's talk about it. In our modern world, we love to categorize things. We have work-life balance. We have church on Sunday and business on Monday. We have created a wall between our spiritual values and our bank accounts. We treat them as if they are enemies. One is holy and the other is profane. The ancient blueprint smashes this wall. Maimonides taught the concept of unity. He taught that there is no separation. Your business is your spirituality. The way you negotiate a contract is a spiritual act. The way you treat a customer is a spiritual act. The way you invest your profit is a spiritual act. This is a profound shift. When you integrate these two worlds, you stop feeling like a hypocrite. You don't have to check your morals at the door when you walk into the office. Instead, you bring your highest self into the marketplace. This gives you a competitive advantage that is hard to beat. Integrity. People trust integrity. People buy from integrity. By uniting the material and the spiritual, you create a foundation that is rock solid. You aren't building on sand anymore. You are building on the bedrock of truth. The money you make becomes clean money, and clean money carries a different energy. It lasts longer. It goes further. One of the most powerful concepts in this blueprint is stewardship. In the West, we are obsessed with ownership. This is mine. I earned it. I can do whatever I want with it. The ancient wisdom says, not so fast. The perspective of the Treasury is that you are not the owner. You are the manager. The creator is the owner. He has entrusted these resources to you to see what you will do with them. Are you a good manager if you ran a branch of a company and you wasted the inventory, treated the staff poorly, and lost money? Would the CEO give you more resources? No. He would fire you or cut your budget. But if you took the resources, multiplied them, improved the store, and served the customers well, the CEO would say, "Here, take more. You know what to do with it." This is exactly how the laws of abundance work. When you treat your money with the respect of a steward, tracking it, saving it, investing it, and giving it wisely, you prove to the universe that you can handle more. It changes your spending habits instantly. You stop buying junk to impress people you don't like, and you start deploying capital to build real value. In the video transcript, Rabbi Ronnie mentions something critical. Few people know these teachings. This is the knowledge gap. For thousands of years, this wisdom was kept within specific communities. It was written in Hebrew or Aramaic. It was debated in yeshivas. It wasn't accessible to the average person on the street. This gap has created a massive inequality. You have a small group of people who understand how to compound wealth generationally, and you have a massive group of people who are just trying to survive the month. The secret isn't a magic spell, it's information. It's a set of principles that have been stress-tested for 3,000 years. We are living in a special time because the internet has begun to bridge this gap. People like the rabbi in the video and channels like this one are taking this hermetically sealed wisdom and opening the jar. But knowing that the information exists isn't enough. You have to seek it out. You have to be willing to learn. The gap is closing, but you have to be the one to build the bridge on your side. You have to admit that maybe, just maybe, what you've been taught about money is wrong and that there is a better way. I'm curious. Have you ever felt that there was a secret rule book for money that wealthy people had, but you somehow missed the memo? Let me know if that resonates with you in the comments. Let's get a little medical here. I want you to think of the poverty mindset not as a personality trait, but as a virus. A computer virus that infects your operating system and slows everything down. How do you know if you are infected? It's subtle. It shows up in your language. I can't afford that. Rich people are lucky. That's too good to be true. It shows up in your emotions. Do you feel a tightening in your chest when you pay a bill? Do you feel envy when you see someone succeed? That's the virus. It's a mindset based on scarcity. Scarcity tells you that there is a limited pie. If your neighbor takes a big slice, that means there is less for you. So you have to fight, you have to hoard, you have to protect. This mindset puts your brain into survival mode. When you are in survival mode, your IQ literally drops. You can't think long term. You can't see opportunities. You are just looking for the next meal. Maimonides would say this is a tragedy because it denies the infinite nature of the Creator. If the source is infinite, the pie is not fixed. The pie can grow. But the virus blinds you to that possibility. So how do we kill the virus? We have to install a new program, the Solomon mindset. King Solomon was famous for asking for wisdom, and because he asked for wisdom, he was given wealth as a byproduct. Rewiring your brain starts with gratitude. I know it sounds like a self-help cliche, but biologically it works. You cannot be in a state of fear and a state of gratitude at the same time. It's impossible. When you focus on what you have, you open the channels for more to come, but it goes beyond just being thankful. The Solomon mindset shifts you from a consumer to a creator. A consumer asks, how can I get money? A creator asks, how can I create value? This is the core shift. Money is a certificate of value exchange. If you want more certificates, you have to provide more value. It's not about tricking people, it's about serving people. When you wake up in the morning thinking, who can I help today, instead of what can I get today, you have successfully rewired your brain. You become a magnet for opportunity because everyone wants to be around a problem solver. There is a danger on the other side of the pendulum, and that is greed. The Solomon mindset is not about greed. Greed is actually just another form of the poverty mindset. It's the fear that you will never have enough, so you try to swallow the whole world. True prosperity includes the concept of enough, but be careful. Enough doesn't mean just enough to survive. In the Hebrew tradition, there is a concept called simcha, which means joy in one's portion. It means being perfectly content with what you have right now, while simultaneously striving for more to increase your impact. It's a paradox. You are happy, but you are not satisfied. You are at peace, but you are ambitious. This balance is what prevents the money from owning you. When you know what your enough looks like, enough to live well, enough to give, enough to be free, you stop running the rat race. You start running your own race. You stop comparing yourself to the billionaire on Instagram and start focusing on your own potential. That is true freedom. Ask yourself this and tell me below. If you had unlimited money starting tomorrow, I mean the bank account is full, what is the very first problem in the world you would try to fix? Not what car you would buy, but what problem you would solve. Let's get into the physics of wealth. I want you to think of money not as coins or paper, but as water, or better yet, as electricity. It is a current. That is literally why we call it currency. What happens to water if it sits still in a puddle for too long? It becomes stagnant, it gets muddy, it breeds mosquitoes, it becomes toxic. But water that is flowing in a river, it is fresh, it is powerful, it creates life. Money is exactly the same. It needs to move, it needs to circulate. The ancient sages understood that holding on to money too tightly actually kills it. It stops the energy. If you are afraid to spend, afraid to invest, and afraid to give, you are stopping the flow. You are building a dam. And what happens downstream from a dam? Everything dries up. To be wealthy, you must be comfortable with the flow. You must trust that when you let money go for a good service, for an investment, or for charity, it will come back to you. Usually it comes back multiplied, just like the rain returns to the river. Many of us have built dams without realizing it. These are our money blocks. Maybe you grew up hearing that rich people are unhappy, so subconsciously you sabotage your success to stay happy. Maybe you feel you aren't worthy of wealth. Maybe you are just stingy. Breaking the dam requires a conscious act of faith. It requires you to initiate the flow even when you don't see the return yet. You don't wait for the stove to give you heat before you put in the wood. You have to put the wood in first. You have to give value first. You have to make the investment first. One of the most powerful ways to break the dam, according to Maimonides, is tzedakah, charity. And this isn't just about being nice. It's a spiritual technology. When you give away a portion of what you have, you are declaring to the universe, I am not afraid. I trust that there is more where this came from. This act of release breaks the psychological grip of scarcity. It smashes the dam. It tells your subconscious mind that you are abundant. And once your mind believes you are abundant, it starts finding ways to make that a reality. The video transcript talks about uniting material wealth with spiritual fullness. This is the ultimate goal. We don't just want to be rich. There are plenty of rich people who are miserable, lonely, and spiritually empty. That is not success. That is a golden cage. The goal is fullness. It means having the material resources to enjoy God's creation, combined with the spiritual wisdom to appreciate it. It's having the money to buy a nice dinner for your family and the presence of mind to actually enjoy the conversation. It's having the money to travel and the gratitude to see the beauty in the world. When you combine wealth with spirit, you create a vessel. If you pour a gallon of water into a thimble, it spills everywhere and makes a mess. That's what happens when people get rich without character. They crash and burn. But if you build a large vessel through character, discipline, and spiritual study, you can hold the gallon of water. You can hold the abundance. The teachings of Maimonides are essentially a manual for building that vessel. They prepare you to be wealthy so that the wealth becomes a blessing, not a curse. What is the one limiting belief about money that you are ready to let go of today? Is it that money is evil? Is it that I'm not smart enough? Declare it in the comments so you can leave it behind and move forward. We have covered a massive amount of ground today. We traveled from the dusty roads of the 12th century to the digital economy of the 21st century. We looked at the philosophy of Maimonides, the psychology of the poverty mindset, and the physics of money flow. But here is the hard truth. Information alone changes nothing. You can read every book on fitness, but if you don't do a push-up, you won't get strong. The same applies here. You now have the secret. You know that poverty is not a virtue. You know that you have a right and an obligation to prosper. You know that money is a tool for good. The transformation begins the moment you decide to accept this truth. It begins when you look in the mirror and say, I am done with struggling. I am done with the old script. I am ready to step into my role as a steward of abundance. This decision is the spark. The rabbi in the story decided to reveal these secrets because he saw the pain of the world. He saw that good people were suffering unnecessarily. Don't let his teaching go to waste. So, what do you do when this video ends? How do you apply this to your life tomorrow morning? Let me give you 3 practical steps. First, audit your thoughts. For the next 24 hours, watch your mind like a hawk. Every time you think a scarcity thought, I can't, it's too expensive, they are lucky, stop, cancel that thought. Replace it with a prosperity thought. How can I earn that? There is abundance everywhere. Rewrite the script in real time. Second, serve more. Look at your job or your business. How can you add more value? How can you help more people? Remember, money follows value. If you want more money, serve more people. It's that simple. Stop chasing the money and start chasing the service. Third, open the flow. Give something. It doesn't have to be $1 million. It can be $5 to a homeless person. It can be a generous tip to a waiter. It can be donating your time to a charity. Just get the energy moving. Prove to yourself that you are a conduit, not a dam. The Solomon's Treasury isn't a physical place. You can't find it on a map. It is a state of mind. It is a way of living. It is a life where your material needs are met with dignity, where your anxiety is replaced by trust, and where your resources are fully aligned with your values. This life is available to you. The gates are not locked. The ancient wisdom is the key, and you are holding it in your hand right now. The only question left is, are you brave enough to use it? Are you brave enough to be wealthy? Are you brave enough to be the person who changes your family's destiny forever? The path is right there in front of you. Walk it. If you found value in this deep dive, if you felt a shift in your thinking, please do the full cycle to help us grow. Like this video to help the algorithm find other people who need this message. Comment below with your biggest takeaway or your answer to our questions. Share this with a friend who is stuck in the poverty trap. You might just change their life. And of course, subscribe to Solomon's Treasury and ring that bell. We are just getting started unlocking the secrets of the ancients. I'll see you in the next video. Shalom.